Alright friends, welcome back to another G Auto Repair YouTube video, and today we're going to be talking about a bit of a controversial subject in relation to oil change interval. What should those be? Now with today's modern vehicles, it seems like the manufacturers are stretching more and more what that service interval should be. Many years ago when I was a kid, it was always 3,000 miles or 3 months, whichever one came first. And in today's vehicles, we're looking at the 10,000 plus, 7,500, 15,000, 20,000 oils and stuff like that. Who's correct? What should it be? Before I get too into this debate or discussion, I'm gonna go ahead and just say that these are my personal how do I say this, my personal professional thoughts and opinions. I am entitled with those. You may not agree with that, and that's okay. That's cool. We can agree to disagree. However, I will make a note that there are other people that are way smarter than me, that have more understanding than me, who also agree and share the same thought. So again, let's agree to disagree. I'm not an oil expert, nor do I profess to be, nor will I ever be. There is a lot of science that is involved with these oils. The modern oils are better. Yes, granted, you know, they can go for longer, but everything within reason. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And not just motor oils, but you know, transmission oils, coolants, and things of that sort. So what I have here is just some oil quarts that I had laying around. They're new. They're not even all the same weight. This is a 520, 020. 530, not even the same brand. This is just for visual. That's all that's for. I got a new oil filter here. This is just to give you guys a visual, but my opinions on the 7,500, 10,000 plus oil changes, to me that's a bunch of hogwash, and I'll explain why. Many years ago, again, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this professionally for over 20 years, roughly 20 years. And I was basically grew up around fixing vehicles and whatnot. So I've been doing this for a long time. And back when the oil changes were about 3,000 miles or so, there were always engine problems. You know, you're gonna have your little wear, your things. You know, that's always been the case. I mean, that's always been around, and that was always, you know, a problem. You know, some timing chain stretch, you know, that was normal. You see that. However, with today's modern vehicles, with all these VTI, VTEC, variable valve timing, and these timing chains that are like 3 miles long now, or they have multiple chains. You know, back then it was one small chain like this for those big, you know, Ford, Chevy engines. Literally the chain was that big or something like that thick, and you know, those things ran forever and a day. Now they look like bicycle tires almost. Not bicycle chains, but you know, they kind of resemble that. They are more beefier than that. I'm exaggerating, and they're super long. A little bit of wear equals a lot of bit of wear once you add everything up. That takes me back to when I was repairing forklifts for Crown. They had the SP48s. If anybody is familiar with Crown lift trucks that are maybe watching this, SP48s, the stock pickers, they had these really long lift chains. And anybody who has worked or dealt with those chains know that a little bit of wear, those chains were so long that a little bit of wear equaled a lot of wear, once everything gets added up. So I mean, I've done several of those chains, so I know a little bit of wear tallies up to a lot, so these chains are the same thing. And on top of that, they're stretching the service interval. You have to get that fresh oil in there to wash out all that stuff, all the debris and all that things that cause wear. And I'm gonna give you my personal example with my personal vehicle that I used to have, a 2007 Toyota Camry. Anybody who's familiar with those Camry engines, or you may work on Toyotas a lot, you already know where I'm going with this. Those things were notorious for burning oil. My engine started to burn, and I had that vehicle since it was brand new, not brand new, but relatively new. It only had 15,000 miles when I purchased that vehicle, and I would change the oil every 5,000 miles. I used to use conventional, I didn't use synthetic. I wouldn't do that now, but I would definitely go synthetic if I'm going that far. But the manufacturer says you can do it. If you're not, even the professional. I used to work for a Toyota dealer, so I know. They tell you a 5,000, 10,000 mile oil change interval, and you go with that. You don't know any better. It's not your fault. The manufacturer are supposed to know. They built the thing, so they're supposed to know. So if they tell you 10,000 miles, then it's good for 10,000 miles. You don't know any better, So it's not the consumer's fault. But back to that engine, I got to the point where I was consuming 1 quart every 3,000 miles. Now let's do the math here. Let's put everything in perspective. That's why I got this visual. That vehicle used about 5 quarts. Most average vehicles use 5 quarts of oil, generally speaking. Some bigger, larger engines and trucks, they go all the way up to 8, 9, 10 quarts of oil, whatever the case may be. I've seen some other cars use 3.5 quarts, somewhere around there, So I've seen them use 4. It varies, but on average 5. That particular vehicle used about 5. So let's do the math. Let's assume that I'm a Joe Blow. I don't know nothing about cars. I don't pop the hood. I don't check any fluids because I trust my local dealer to do the maintenance, and I take it there since I bought the car, and they tell me, oh, the oil is good for 10,000 miles. Great, I'll see you in 10,000 miles, and I keep on trucking. I don't lift the hood. I don't check in. I know nothing about cars. So I'm consuming 1 quart of oil every 3,000 miles. So I just changed my oil today. I'm good for 10,000 miles. I drive 3,000 miles. There goes 1 quart. Okay? I get to 6,000 miles. There's another quart. I get to 9,000 miles. There goes another quart. And then I finally get to 10,000 miles, and then I've used a little bit of this quart. So I'm driving that vehicle by the time I get to my next oil change on a quart, not even 2 quarts of oil. What do you think is happening to that engine? Yeah, we're having some issues. We're having some issues because now we're having some premature wear due to lack of lubrication. No engine can run safely on 2 quarts of oil. They're not designed to do that. So that's where you start getting other wear. Your piston, your cylinder walls, piston rings, all that. On top of that is 10,000 miles. So over time, junk, crap starts to accumulate. The piston rings start getting stuck because now they use low tension piston rings. Low tension piston rings. That is to help with fuel economy. The piston goes up and down with less drag, therefore more fuel efficient vehicle. Not by much, but every little bit helps. So now it's easier for that piston control ring and all that good jazz to get stuck in its bore, and now it doesn't wipe off the sidewalls like it should, and that's how you get that consumption. That's how it starts. And as you start driving the vehicle without oil, then you start getting more and more faster wear, and then before you know it, you're chugging 1 quart every 1,000 miles or something like that. Those engines were known for that. So by the time I do the oil change, I'm driving a car with less than 2 quarts of oil. Now it just starts to go downhill from there. And again, this is well documented. This is not me making this up. You know, it's an actual thing. Look it up. Go YouTube, Google, whatever, and reach out to those smarter than me guys, and you'll see that there's a trend. So to me, that 10,000, 20,000 mile oil that Mobil 1 makes, to me that's a bunch of hogwash. You can't do that. I mean, you could, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't. If you look at these filters, you see it says 5,000 miles. If you get the higher grade, it says 10,000 miles. You shouldn't be going to 10,000 miles. You shouldn't even be going to 7,500. My Ford, you need to do it every 7,500. That's when the little reminder light comes on. I never even let it get to that. Oil changes are cheap. Engines are expensive. Okay? And the same thing goes with transmissions. All these transmissions, they go for the life of vehicle oil, 100,000 mile oil change on a transmission, 150. It's ridiculous. What are the manufacturers doing? Well, it's simple. It's very simple. It's something called planned obsolescence. Okay? They want to get you that vehicle that you just purchased. Okay? Mr. A purchases a car, brand new 0 meter. Okay? The manufacturer tells them, Mr. A, if you buy my car, you're going to save money because you don't have to change the oil as often. You change it every 10,000 miles, and you don't have to worry about your transmission fluid. It's fluid for life, or 150,000 mile fluid, and your coolant is 150,000 miles, and the spark plugs are 100 and something thousand miles, and all that good jazz. You just gotta, gas and go, change your oil every once in a while, and you're golden. Mr. A buys it, and yeah, he does whatever the manufacturer tells him to. What that manufacturer wants is to get that vehicle, one, past its warranty. That's one. And two, they want it to get past that first owner, because they know a majority of the people will not keep their car past that, or much past 100,000 miles. Okay? They just want to get past, like I said, A, they want to get past warranty, and B, they want to get past that owner. Who has to deal with all the crap that comes after that due to low maintenance and all that mumbo jumbo? Mr. B, who comes behind and buys the car secondhand. He might buy the car with 80, 100, 120, 130,000 miles, or maybe even more. Now all of a sudden he's having engine wear problems, he's having transmission problems, he's having this problem, he's having that problem, and Mr. B gets the worst end of the stick. Mr. A may be happy. They're like, man, that car was great, it was wonderful. I need to go back to that manufacturer and buy me another one, because that was, man, driving stress-free. I didn't have to fix anything. That's what the manufacturer wants. Let's say Mr. A does keep the car for longer. Okay? Again, planned obsolescence. The manufacturer's definition or expectancy of life of vehicle is not the same as yours. They expect the car to last anywhere from the sweet spot, anywhere from 7 to 10 years, somewhere around there. Anything past that is on borrowed time, and that's by design. If not, they go hungry. They've learned a lot over the years. That's why you still got these older 80s, 90s models, even early 2000 model vehicles still running around. 20-year-old cars, and they're still driving around. Some of them are perfect. The owners are very happy with it. I get them here all the time. You know, but then you get these newer cars that the 6-7 year mark, they're falling apart. And then when you try to fix it, it's $1 million to fix it. So let's say Mr. A keeps the car. He's already at the 10-year mark or so. The transmission is starting to give issues, or the engine is starting to give issues. Goes back to the shop or dealer or whatever, and it says, listen, I'm having an issue with my vehicle. Oh yeah, bring it in, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, we found that your transmission is shot, or we found that your engine is shot. Okay, it's gonna be a $5,000, $8,000 repair, or whatever it may be. The car's not even worth that. So what is Mr. A gonna say? No, man, that's too expensive. How can I? Oh, all right. And you go back to the manufacturer on your knees. Oh, please, Mr. Manufacturer, please sell me another car. Mr. Manufacturer's gonna go, Mr. A, right this way. Look at all the flavors and colors of the rainbow. Which one would you like? That's what they want. They want you to buy constantly, on a regular basis, purchase a new vehicle. They don't want them to last 20, 30, 40 years. That's bad for business. That's bad for business. And I would be okay with that if the cars weren't so expensive. You're talking about 40, 50, 60, $70,000 vehicles. Come on. Come on. Okay, I can see $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 every 10 years, $15,000 every 10 years. Okay, whatever, you know, no big deal. But we're talking about 50, 70, 80, depending on what vehicle you're buying, even closer to 100 or more than 100. I've seen some of these high-end pickup trucks with all the bells and whistles. They're pushing the 100K mark. You can't justify that every 10 years. Come on. Not even a house. And that's another thing that's gone outrageous. But that's what they want. Planned obsolescence. They want the stuff to tear down. So, of course, they're not harmed in any way. Okay, yeah, change it every 10,000 miles. And once that engine tears up, we're going to just go ahead and sell you a new car. Because you're not going to want to fix it. You're not going to dump $8,000 in a vehicle that's worth $4,000. You're not going to do it. It doesn't make financial sense. And let's say you do. Let's say you do. Okay. What is to guarantee that the transmission is not going to go next? Another $4,000 or $5,000 repair. What's to guarantee that? Can you afford that hit? Or multiple hits? As a consumer, you need to figure that out. As a manufacturer, they're not giving you much of a choice. So, with all of this, I'm saying, my friends, my dear friends, change your oil regularly. This is not that expensive in comparison to a major repair or rebuild. You know, that's what I'm seeing. Stuck solenoids, worn chains, malfunctioning variable valve timing issues. All of that, part of that is caused by poor maintenance. Not always. I'm not saying that that's always the case, but a majority of those issues could be cut down just by regularly maintaining your engine with the clean oil. Again, you may not have to go get the most expensive oil, but, and again, that's another can of worms. That's a whole nother can of worms. I'm not even gonna get into the oil brand wars. I might get a hit put on me or something. I don't want to get into that, but I am gonna say change your oil frequently. My opinion, is no more than 5K on full synthetic, and that is pushing it. No more than that. I don't care what the manufacturer says, what anybody says, what the oil company says. I do not care. I could care less. I could care less. Because back in the day, I don't remember seeing a lot of the problems that I see now. And granted, some of it is technology based, because, you know, but I remember those older Toyotas that had that VVT. I don't think it was hydraulically actuated, but, or maybe it was, I don't remember. It's been too many years back. I've never seen no issues with those things. I used to have a 97 Toyota Camry. Man, that thing drove forever without any kind of engine issues, none whatsoever. And I had already bought it old. I bought it with 98,000 miles. I sold it with almost 200,000 miles, and it was still ticking. Every 3K, I would change that oil religiously, and never had an issue. Engine wise, never had an issue. You know, now all of a sudden, everything is tearing apart within a short period of time. So that's it for my rant, friends. Again, if you take anything from this, please just change your oil regularly. That's just my thoughts. Again, you may disagree. There's a lot of science that goes into these oils to get a good, accurate, you know, gauge and whatnot. You know, you got to send it off for lab work, and it becomes a whole thing. So if you just want to skip all that, just change your oil every 5,000 miles, and 3 to 5,000 miles, and call it a day. You're done. All right, hope this was interesting, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video.